Honestly, this time of the year, or at least this time with the sunset going down, this strip doesn't look so bad. All right, we're gonna go over there. That's the Resorts World. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. I'm recording this. I'm at a red light. It's fine. I am going to play a cash game. Cash games are back for the time being for content. Why? Because real time, next few videos, I'm gonna go to Hustler. I'm gonna play for a whole freaking week of live streams. I'm done with tournaments. WSOP happened. I have $100,000, give or take, to make back. Probably a little bit less. Definitely a little bit less than 100, but whatever. That's the number I have on paper. So I'm gonna play some cash. I'm done with tournaments for now. Cash game's a lot more fun. We're gonna try to make up $100,000 back, and gonna go to Resorts World right now. So I'm gonna play either a 5-10, 10-20, whatever game that's running right now that I can play, just to kind of warm up before a full week of cash games. I haven't played cash in forever. Haven't played a lot of cash games, so let's just get warmed up. There's Resorts World. It's beautiful. Oh, there's the. I'm getting pulled over. Just kidding. No, that's just the ambulance. What a shit show. What a shit show of an intro. All right. Let's get inside there to the poker room and play some cash games. What the fuck? This ambulance just turned off the lights. They had the sirens on, lights and everything. This is a scam, right? They just went and passed me, and now they're stuck in the light, and they're just like, oh no, it's not an emergency anymore. Scam. Let's hop into this crazy $15 PLO double board bomb pot every single hand. It's a $1,200 max buy-in. You know I'm in for the max, and this first hand we get involved in, I pick up Ace 8-7-5. Flop number 1 comes Jack 4-5, 2 hearts. Flop number 2 comes Ace 8-7. So I have a gutter up top and 3 pair on the bottom. So when action checks to me, I decided to bet my hand $75 into the field of 6 other players. And the cutoff makes the call, and then the player to my right goes all in for 300. Okay, what a great way to start off this session. Definitely going to be getting involved. It takes some time to actually figure out what I even have, to be quite honest with you. I'm narrating it because it's behind the fact, but in real time, I'm staring at my cards forever, just looking at both boards and seeing I have connected on both. Anyways, for 300 total, I make the call, and the cutoff makes the call as well. Cutoff leaves himself with about a couple hundred behind. So already we're going to a turn 3 ways, which comes a bink 6 up top and a 10 on the bottom. So I end up turning the nut straight up top, and I guess some straight draws have gotten there on the turn and the bottom. Anyways, with me first to act, cutoff has like 200 or 300 left. Sitting with the nuts on the top, I decided to go all in, basically committing the other person's stack. And after a minute of thinking, this opponent ends up folding. So we're going to a showdown against the original all-in player. We're off to a river, and I end up rivering the nut flush on the bottom. Starting things off, I have the nut straight up top and the nut flush on the bottom, which gives me the best hand on both boards. And I'm going to win this one. It's very rare to connect with both boards pretty hard. And when you have the nuts on both, I'm not going to be able to lose this one. So I win the first hand. Always a nice start to the session. In the next interesting spot, I pick up King, Queen, 7-6 and flop a Broadway up top and flop a middle pair of a king on the bottom on Ace, King, 6. Anyways, I have the nuts up top. The cutoff player starts off with a bet of $100. I decided to pot this one and raise things up, and the pot ends up being about $405 because, you know, I have the nuts up top and I want to get more money in. Anyways, the player on my left, Sashimi, ends up going all in herself for $355 total. The cutoff makes the call for my 405. So we're going 3 ways once again. There's a side pot building. There's a lot going on. There's tons of cards, tons of action. Sometimes, fair warning, it is going to get a little confusing to follow the action, but we're going to 2 different turns now, 3 ways, 1 person all in. Turn number 1 comes an ace. Turn number 2 comes a jack. I start off with a check, seeing as the top board is paired. I do lose to some full houses now, or a lot of full houses. But when the cutoff goes all in for not a whole lot, only $205, a little annoying, but I guess I have to make the call here. I have a pair on the bottom. I guess we're going to hope for the best. We're off to the river cards, which comes a Queen of Hearts, then 7. And it's a 3-way all-in. Everyone has to show their cards. And to my surprise, everyone, all of us, have King, Queen up top. So everyone has Broadway, flopped Broadway on the first board. And on the bottom board, I actually win with king 7, 2 pair. No one else can beat that. And that's a really cool spot where I actually end up winning about 3/4 of the entire pot. How the math ends up working out is that I win half of the bottom pot outright, and then I split the top board amongst the other 3 players. So after figuring out, shout out to the dealers for being really good here at Resorts World, finding the change, just breaking everything and calculating it in a very easy fashion. Shout out to Chow for figuring out all the math. I end up winning about 75% of the pot. So I end up making money. My other 2 opponents end up losing money, and that's a good result for me. The next spot, I pick up ace, ace, king 3. In PLO, it's actually quite common to pick up aces here, but not something you want to see in a PLO double board bomb pot unless we spike an ace. Flop number 1 comes queen, jack, 9 rainbow. Flop number 2 comes jack, 4, 5, 2 hearts. I'm on the button here, and the small blind starts off with a bet of $5. All right, that's not going to stand as an early position player decides to raise it up to $105. When the low jack makes the call for 105, I don't know what to do here. I have aces, and I guess I'm just a little stubborn. It seems like in hindsight a pretty easy fold now, but in game, $105. Things have gone so well for me so far in this session, I make the call. Hoping the small blind does not jam, but sadly she does end up check jamming basically for $600. When the early position player calls the $600 all in, low jack and I painfully fold this one. We're off to see a run out and some showdown where the small blind ends up flopping a straight on top and the early position player has a set on the bottom and they end up chopping my money. Unfortunate here to fold aces, and in hindsight, like I said, I probably should have been folding this given all the action anyways. It's not like one pair is going to be good here on either flop, and you know what? I gave away an extra $105. That's part of the growing pains of playing a brand new game. Moving onward, next spot is going to be pretty fun. King, queen, 4, 5, 2 spades here, and we're going to a flop of queen, 3, deuce, and flop number 2 comes king, jack, 3. So I end up actually flopping a whole lot here. Top pair on both boards, and I have an open-ended straight draw on the top board. The early player bets out $105. Here, I decided to make the call. Don't think I want to raise just yet. Happy to just see a run out. And well, I'm happy I didn't raise because the button ends up potting it to $525. He is one of the only other players at the table playing extremely deep. He actually might have me covered. So playing with over $1,000 behind after I decide to make the call here in this spot because I'm never folding with top pair on both boards. I have plenty of outs to improve on. So let's battle. I make the call for $525. Like I said, I'm playing about $1,000 behind, and we're off to turns, which comes the king of diamonds and then the 8 of hearts. Now I've improved to top 2 pair on the top board, and I start with a check out of position against this player, and he decides to check back. Now, going to the river, which comes the 7 and 3. That changes not a whole lot, and I'm at the decision point of I don't actually know what I want to do, to be quite honest with you. I have top 2 pair, I have 1 pair on the bottom. Like, am I ever even good here? I decided to block bet $325. Are block bets, small bets a thing in PLO? I don't know, but I certainly could just get raised and jammed into, which would be really unfortunate. So mainly I'm just hoping he doesn't raise here, as I would certainly hate life with my specific holding. And luckily, he ends up just making the call. I show my hand. These split pot games, it's pretty likely to chop a lot of the time, but for some reason, I actually win. Oh my God. I ended up getting some small, thin value on the river here. Didn't expect my hand to be good on the bottom with just a king, but you know, it ended up being good. So I'm not sure what I get called by. I got called by worse, and I'll take this one down. I think he had a worse king, I think. Anyways, unexpectedly, I ship the entire pot my way. The next few hands we're going to go over get pretty interesting. Let's hop in. We're playing 8-handed now at this point. I pick up 9, 9, 5, 7 in the cutoff, and flop number 1 flops me middle set. Flopping a 9 there, flop number 2 gives me a gut shot straight draw, but not a whole lot else for me. Anyways, action checks to the player to my right who bets pots of $120. I'm not going to go anywhere here. I don't think I want to raise with my specific hand. I want to connect with both boards hard for me to raise. So I decided to make the call of 120 with a set and gut shot straight draw. And sadly, Sashimi to my left ends up potting it to $600. Not a fun spot to be in when someone else is pumping money in the middle and I have a decent hand. Anyways, the player to my right ends up going all in for 700. Oh dear, what am I supposed to do? I have a set and it's a draw heavy board, so it seems like I am almost flipping at best, even though I have such a strong hand. You know, there's lots of straight draws, lots of flush draws, and in PLO, you know, draws tend to get there considering you have 4 cards to draw for. Anyways, it feels a little gross. It feels like middle set is super vulnerable, and on the bottom board, I only have a gutter. And because it's a paired board, I'm up against full houses a lot of the time, and my 6 might not even be good for my straight. So given all of the action, I end up just folding, expecting to be behind one of these weird spots in PLO where you have such a strong hand, but you actually have to consider folding a lot, I think. So I'm kind of blindly guessing. I decided to let my cards go. Sashimi makes the call of the all-in for just 100 more, and we're happy to sweat out a run-out. I hit my gutter on the second turn card, unfortunately. Oh my god. But no need to stress, luckily. The player to my left had 3-4 for a full house, and the player to my right has pocket queens for top sets. So somehow would have gotten set over set and also would have gotten full house over a straight. And I guess I'm feeling pretty lucky that I only lost $120 this hand. Feels like I certainly could have lost a lot more, especially if I saw that turn card. So here we are. Nice to basically feel like I won the pot, even though I did lose money. I lost basically the minimum, and I'm pretty happy to report that. The last hand didn't end up going my way with a set. How about this time with 6-6, 9 deuce? I end up flopping middle set on the flop. And then the second flop, I end up bricking a whole lot of nothing with king 10, 3. Now sitting with a set up top, once again, basically a very similar situation. An early position player bets out $105. 2 players make the call to me. I don't think I have a choice besides just making the call. Nothing on the bottom board, and I just have a set, which, you know, like we've seen, is pretty vulnerable to losing to other stuff. So I don't want to be aggressive, don't want to put much money in the middle. I decide on a call. So we're going 4 ways now to the turns, which come a 9 and 7. Cool thing is that I pick up a little bit of equity on the bottom board. I have a gut shot straight draw now. So there's that. Anyways, one player in early position decides to bet out around pots. $540 to go. And when action folds to me, I decide to just make the call with my sets. So for 540, the pot is going to balloon the hell up. I decide to make the call, and another player ends up actually going all in for less as well, for about $310 total. So this is, once again, 3 ways, 1 player all in. To the river we go after figuring out the correct amount of the pot. Shout out to these dealers, like I said. There's a lot of math involved and a lot of moving parts. Anyways, the river comes a 3 and 8. I end up rivering a full house on the top and then binking the gut shot straight draw on the bottom. Oh my god. Anyways, my opponent checks. This opponent has like 100 or 2 behind left, and the pot has clearly ballooned up. So I'm going to go for all of it once I actually get there. Now that I have both boards and equity and a strong hand on both boards, I decide to go all in. And he ends up making the call pretty quickly. Not a huge decision as a couple $100 left. I show my full house. I show my straight. And guess what? It's good enough to win the whole pot again. There are so many times for somehow I end up binking the river. I am just running really pure in this game where I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if my opponents know what they're doing. It's fun when no one knows what they're doing and I just end up hitting all of my outs and scoop it all. Another pretty big pot in this game getting pushed my way. Bunch of chips getting pushed, piles and piles of red chips. Here we are. Pretty sick to spike the gutter on the bottom, and there we are. Good vibes, feeling good, and we are moving on to one of the last interesting hands of the night, or probably the most interesting hand of the night. I have king, queen, 8-8, 2 diamonds, and flop top boat on the first flop, and the second flop of ace 9, 4, 2 hearts, a whole lot of nothing. So I basically have the top board entirely locked up here. So I decided to bet small. I'm not sure what I can even get called by that I lose to or don't chop to, basically. So I bet out $55, and surprisingly, the middle position player raises to 200. Seems like he's interested in the pot. And then the next player to act makes the call. Oh my god. Action folds to me. I'm up against the 2 deepest stacks at the table, and I'm just curious of what the hell should I do? I'm thinking basically I want to bloat up the size of the pot here. I'm out of position. I have the best full house for now and a whole lot of nothing. So maybe if there's a way to bloat up the size of the pot, make this pot go multi-way, because most of these pots will end up getting chopped anyways, and I don't have anything on the second flop. I decided to re-raise and bump up the price to $650. I can get value from 7x, or heart flush draws on the other board can call too, even though I have nothing. But for $650, I surprisingly get both of the opponents to call. Oh no. When both players make the call, I feel like I have some alarm bells ringing here. I don't want to say I'm afraid of quads right now, but there's always the possibility in PLO. So we're going to turns, which come the 5 of spades and 10 of spades. These don't really change anything for me, but like I said, some alarm bells are running off in my head. So out of position, I start off with a check. Then the next player to act decides to go all in, rips it all in for $840 total. And you know what happens after that? The player after him rejams himself for $1155 total. Oh my God. Here's my reaction of what's going on right now facing these 2 all-ins. I was so afraid of, what the fuck? Oh my fucking God. Oh, I was like, someone has to have 7s, right? Like, that's all I lose to. It's so bad. That is so bad. Why is PLO so sick? You're just like hating your life sitting with the second nuts. It's disgusting. Who flops quads and then some idiot like me just check raises? Fuck. And then just 3 bets. It's so disgusting. Yeah, so that's where my mindset is at right now. Not thinking about I have top full house and the entire board locked up and basically thinking it's a dream scenario to call, but I'm simply afraid of someone beating me with quads. I think it over, and ultimately, I thought it was really likely that someone has me crushed here by having quads. I don't know what I'm thinking about in real game, to be quite honest with you, but it's a miserable spot for me at the time. You probably are thinking at home watching this video, just stick it in there, man. I have bluffed off tons of money. I have called off with worse before. Why am I trying to make a hero fold with top full house? And I don't know, maybe the run bad of this WSOP has gotten to me, but I end up folding, make the hero fold, and snap, I hear awful news. I have made the worst fold of my entire life, and I had both players drawing dead. And even freaking worse, I bink the bottom river, so I would have gotten Broadway and won the whole freaking pot. But instead, shout out to Alvin, shout out to Alex for bullying me off this hand. Top full house was clearly ahead, and they end up actually just chopping all of my money. How bad am I at this game? Seriously, just leave a comment below. Just let me know how bad I am at this game. So instead of raking in piles and piles of chips in the last interesting hand of the night, I forgot the magical phrase that folding is boring, and I get severely, severely punished for it. By far the biggest hand of the night, and I choked it. Wow. PLO double board bomb pot hands, just madness. A lot of fun. First time I ever played it, and it's sick. I want to play this more often. The gamble's amazing. No one knows what they're doing, including me, obviously. But I ran well to a certain degree, made some folds, a lot of folds, maybe too many folds. But I called that 8s hand, man. I would have a big session. But this was fun. I played for 3 hours. I was in the game for 1,200, which was the max buy-in. Didn't have to reload. And I was out for 34.05, which is like pretty good win for a $15 ante-game, basically is what it was. If I made the call with 8s, I end up winning at least $3,000 or $4,000 more. Okay, whatever. The pocket 4s straight hand thing is like the epitome of how swingy this game is. The variance is crazy. We just like swapped boards, which is crazy. Yeah, overall it was a good day, fun time. I would love to do this again. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, because this was amazing. Double board bomb pots only here at Resorts World. A lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching. Nice to come out with a profit. Good way to start off the cash game return. And yeah, I might play another 5-10 session in 10-20 or something soon. But for now, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.